Broadcasting live from Studio 3 at Abraham Baldwin Agricultural College, you're watching Stallion TV.
Welcome to Stallion TV for Friday, November 18th. I'm Ty Goodman.
And I'm Anthony McDonald. Thank you for joining us here again at Abraham Baldwin Agricultural College.
How much do you know about what goes on here on campus? With finals coming up, you may be focusing your attention on your schoolwork. Here's Stallion TV's Anthony McDonald to help you see what you might have missed.
Is it possible that students here on ABAC's Tift campus have grown accustomed to the loud sounds of maintenance and construction whilst they walk from class to class? Why is there so much construction going on campus? Evans Hall has been the latest to undergo renovation, but why? Evans Hall was constructed in 1962. At some point over the past 60 years, moisture caused the foundation to settle unevenly and an interior wall to sag slightly. While the exact cause is unknown, the running theory is that poor drainage eroded the foundation. The drainage issue was addressed earlier this year by adding a wall and French drain system to the north side of the building per civil engineer's specifications.
This is my first time seeing the wall.
This diverts water runoff around Evans Hall instead of under Evans Hall.
And hopefully in several more weeks, the building will be back on its original foundation. Where the water eroded it away, and that's about it. I mean, it dropped probably about an inch to an inch and a quarter in the rear of the building. That's the only place we had an issue.
Many ABAC students walk past Evans Hall completely oblivious to what's going on with the building, but now you know a little bit more about the happenings on ABAC campus. For the Stallion, I'm Anthony McDonald.
The initial combined cost estimate is roughly $100,000, but the exact cost will not be known until the project is complete. ABAC will continue to monitor the condition in Evans Hall once the repairs are complete to determine if they were a success.
Recently, there was an election held to determine who should represent Georgia in the United States Senate. But with Raphael Warnock and Herschel Walker being neck and neck, it ended with a runoff. On November 8, 2022, the general election for Senate was advanced to a runoff between Raphael Warnock and Herschel Walker. Early voting for the runoff between Walker and Warnock will begin on the 28th, while Election Day will be December 6th. You will need to be registered to vote by November 7th, and any request for an absentee ballot should be submitted by November 28th. For those who don't know, ballots can be dropped off in two locations, 225 North Tift Avenue and 222 Chestnut Avenue, Building B. The location on Chestnut will also be used for advanced in-person voting. We asked Debbie Williams if she plans to take part in the coming runoff, as well as how she feels about recasting her vote.
I plan to go vote on December the 6th for the runoff for the state Senate. I feel that it is a privilege and an honor to be able to vote in the United States, and it is my civic duty to do it.
6th, the Tifton Junior Women's Club is hosting a glow run at Northside Baptist Church. The Stallion's Summer Edwards reports.
For the whole family. The run will feature music, black lights, glow sticks, face paint, and more. We're here at Northside Baptist Church, where the run will be held at 6 o'clock tonight. Whether you're a casual walker or an avid runner, this run is for you. You can choose between a 1K or a 5K. I'm sure both will be a blast. So, what is the mission to the glow run?
The Glow Run is held each year. It's our only fundraiser for the Tifton Junior Women's Club, and the proceeds are used to fund scholarships for local high schoolers.
Can you tell us a little bit about the Glow Run?
Yeah, so the Glow Run this year we already have 130 runners signed up. You can also still sign up until the start of the race. The 1 mile starts at 6 p.m. and then the 5K starts at 6:45. So it'll be getting dark and everybody will have all their glow stuff on and all.
Thank you, Tiffany and Jesse, for interviewing with us. The run looks like it will be so much fun. I'm excited to wear neon, crack some glow sticks, put on some face paint, and more. I'm also excited to get one of those awesome Glow Run t-shirts. And for Stallion TV, this is Summer Edwards.
If you plan to attend tonight, be sure to arrive 30 minutes prior so you too can register for the Glow Run.
ABAC has a growing community of artists and crafters who were able to come together yesterday to show off their different skills and products. For the Stallion, here's Delcy Vega with more.
As an opportunity for ABAC's community of artists and crafters to show off their talents and entrepreneurial skills, the Mars and Cultural Latinx Club came together to present the first Arts and Craft Festival here at ABAC. Students were able to bring handmade jewelry, paintings, clothing, and so much more. Though this event is a wonderful way for the ABAC community to come together and display their talents, it's also a way for future and current student businesses to develop their skills as they interact with customers and present their products.
Well, I like this because I actually started this in 2017. This is actually how I'm paying for school. So far it's gotten me through my associates and up to graduation without student loans. I also like that there's also other people. I didn't realize there was so many people here that also craft. There's also some other people doing the same stuff that I am. So that's really cool to see like other people.
The Art and Craft Festival allows ABAC's community of artists and crafters to come together and show their entrepreneurial skills. For the Stallion, I'm Delcy Vega.
Even with the cold and windy weather this week, the Arts and Craft Festival was able to experience a great turnout, encouraging both the Manners and the Cultura Latinx Club to continue this well-received event. The air is getting colder, so it may be time to break out your s'more recipes and take your winter coats out of storage if you haven't already. Here's Joshua Boyer to give us the update on the weather.
Here in Tipton, the weather has been chilly for the past few days, and since we are barreling toward winter, it'll just get colder. While today will continue to be sunny, the high is 55 with a low of 31. Saturday is going to be cloudy with a high of 57 and a low of 36. Now Sunday's going to drop a few degrees with a low of 40 and a high of 52. Monday will heat up just a little bit with a low of 35 but a high of 61. Tuesday does have a chance of rain, but still remains in the 60s with a low of 47 and a high of 61. Now, as we enter into the week of Thanksgiving, be sure to stay warm no matter where you are.
Thank you, Josh. The shopping season is upon us. To help us get ready for this present hunting chaos, here's the Stallion's David Cruz.
The air is getting colder, the daylight has been saved, and Christmas is approaching. After being stuffed with your family's cooking, it's time to get ready for those Black Friday deals.
Black Friday marks the beginning of the Christmas shopping season, but due to backlash from previous years, how is this affecting workers?
Although Black Friday is hopeful for us, it's not so for the employees of the stores. Some store employees tend to get mistreated by Black Friday customers. I talked to an American Eagle employee to see how he's prepping for this year's Black Friday.
How does Black Friday affect you mentally, and how do you prepare for that?
Black Friday is it's stressful to an extent, but when you have enough people in the store and you know how you're supposed to do it, it goes down pretty smoothly. It's a long shift, but it's a little draining. A lot of the worry is a lot of the preparing. You know, it gets stressful. We're getting a lot of shipment right now, and we're not really got the space to put everything. We actually ran out of sensors, so we literally cannot put anything out right now because we don't have the stuff to put on them. It's not too bad on my mental health per se. I can usually get through it without, having too much of a hard time. The whole season itself, that's where it gets really bad though.
With more and more people online shopping, there are less customers going into these stores on Black Friday. The decrease in customers helps store employees' mental health because it reduces the amount of stress that is placed on them.
If you're planning on going Black Friday shopping, please remember to treat all workers with respect. And for the Stallion, I'm David Cruz.
If you have your plans set to go out this Black Friday, remember to stay safe, and again, treat employees respectfully.
It has been a week since the 2 a.m. incident at Lakeside. However, the debate whether or not action has been taken is still going on, and Ty Goodman has more for us.
On Friday, November 11th, residents at Lakeside didn't wake up to their alarm clocks, but they woke up to this. It seemed the third floor was on fire, causing everybody to evacuate, but it was only later when everyone was infuriated to know there was no fire. Rather, it was a student playing with a fire extinguisher. Here's where Lakeside's residents were evacuated, on the curb. And for those that weren't fully clothed, they had to suffer through the cold temperatures and sprinkling rain that night.
The fire alarm affected me because I ended up not going to bed till 5 a.m. the next part after we all got inside and situated.
I was studying for one of my tests that I had next week, so we went outside in the rain. We were all cold. One of my friends didn't have shoes.
I was sleeping really good, and it woke me up.
It was 2 a.m., it was cold, I was sick, and I had to stay in the rain.
And this didn't come without consequences for the next day.
Then I had an exam the next day, and let's just say I was not doing my best on that exam because I was so tired.
I went to sleep and actually overslept and missed my 8 a.m. lab and my 10 a.m. music class.
I missed class, both my classes, and I just didn't get up because I wasn't able to go to sleep till like 5:30, and I had to be up in like an hour and a half.
I got more sick and almost didn't go to class because I couldn't stop coughing. And I was going to be really mad if I had to go to urgent care for a second time in 1 week, because I'd already gone to urgent care and gotten 4 prescriptions.
A week later, Lakeside is divided on the punishment being unclear. RAs and staff refused to release any information on this subject for the purpose of confidentiality. Even if nothing does get done about this situation, this should teach all of Lakeside's residents to be courteous of everybody else who lives in the building. For Stallion TV, I'm Ty Goodman.
College can be unpredictable, but let's hope something as unpredictable as this never happens again.
In the LGBTQ+ community, there is a flag for everyone, and someone on campus has recently tried to display this. Walking around ABAC's campus, you might have seen a pride flag or two. While June is declared Pride Month, November 13th and 19th marks Trans Awareness Month. However, this unknown individual put flags of all sexualities and genders. Some were in the open, but some were in places hard to reach.
I think they're pretty cool. I think they're a good way to raise awareness of queer people on campus and of queer spaces, along with our GSA as a whole. Although GSA is not involved in it in any way, I think it's overall a good thing, and it shows that ABAC isn't a bigoted place.
You may notice it is hard to find one now. It is unknown whether groundskeepers or students had removed them. Nevertheless, it's clear that whoever this person is that's responsible wants us to know that we can celebrate Pride all the time. And there's lots of major games and championships coming up in the world of sports, from big-name college football games to the FIFA World Cup. Here's Juliana Franklin to tell us more.
It was announced this week that the University of Georgia will be playing LSU in the SEC Championship. With that being said, the Bulldogs will be facing the Kentucky Wildcats at 3:30 p.m. on Saturday. Alabama will be playing Austin, PA at 12 p.m. as they go into the weekend with an unusual 8-2 record on the season. Tennessee has now dropped down to number 5 as they face South Carolina this Saturday at 7 p.m. Sunday will begin the 2022 World Cup with Qatar and Ecuador facing one another in the first match at 11 a.m. Back to you, Ty.
Staying inside and watching any of these games is a good way to stay warm and busy this weekend.
Ever since 1996, when Pokemon released their red and green versions for the Game Boy, they have had a massive fan base. Early this morning was no different. Early this morning, the GameStop here in Tifton had an initial release for the new Pokemon games, Scarlet and Violet. There were over 20 people at this midnight launch, which is the most the store has seen since COVID. This new game has increased in popularity amongst the Pokemon community because of the new open world concept. Thank you for joining us today at Stallion TV. I'm Anthony McDonald.
And I'm Ty Goodman. And this is Joshua Boyer and Juliana Franklin. We will see you next time with more news from Abraham Baldwin Agricultural College.